Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're doing something very different. I've not done one of these videos on my channel before, and it is a spring recommendations. Just recommendations in general are something that I want to do more of, so I sort of want to split this video into 3 different categories, which are new releases, my spring TBR, and Kindle Unlimited books. So I thought this was the best way of doing it, as you can kind of get a range of what I want to read and what I think sounds interesting, and just it's so fun to see what other people are reading and get inspiration, because I love going through like the comments of these videos, and personally I love watching these videos. I think they're so interesting because everyone obviously has different book tastes, and it's just fun to hear what everybody else likes to read. So moving on to the first segment of this video, which is new releases. The first book on the list is The Strawberry Patch Pancake House, it's a bit of a mouthful, by Laurie Gilmore. This is set with Archer and Iris. Archer is actually a single dad, and he is a chef, and he moves to the town of Dream Harbour, and Iris, she cannot keep a job for like her life or money, and she goes and helps Archer because Archer has a daughter, Olive, and she is his nanny. This book has tropes of single dad, forced proximity, found family, slow burn, like one bed sort of vibe, and this sounds so fun. Personally, I read the first book in the Laurie Gilmore like Dreamboat Harbour series, I think it's called, and I personally didn't enjoy it, but this actually sounds like something I would read, and this sounds really fun. The next book on the list is The Full Risk by Abby Jimenez, I don't really know. This book is about Charlotte and Seth, who find themselves in a little bit of a situation. So they actually share an apartment together, and this book is actually a short story, so a sort of like a novella, but it's a very small book, and they find themselves in a bit of a dilemma, and they get stuck in their apartment complex and they cannot get out, and one way or another they sort of fall in love very quickly, of course, because it is a short story, but this sounds really cute. The next book is Just Our Luck by Denise Williams. This book is about Sybil, and she literally cannot hold a job down also, and she has not got a lot of money, so she buys herself a lottery ticket, and then she meets Kieran Anderson. Kieran Anderson sort of dreams to be a doctor, but his family owns a business, and unfortunately he needs to go and help, and he struggles, like he does not like it whatsoever, and he's just not having a good time. And some way or another, I'm not entirely sure, Sybil and Kieran meet, and they must hit it off somehow. I'm not entirely sure, but this book sounds fun. The next book is Cover Story by Celia Lasky. I think that's how you say her name. This is a historical fiction and takes place in 2005. Ali is a publicist, and her job is to keep closeted gay people, celebrities, from being outed. It's a bit of an obscure thing, but bear with me. And we also meet Kara, I'm not sure, who is her newest assignment, and she is joining Ali in the career as a publicist. I'm saying all these names wrong, by the way, and she has a secret that she does not want Ali to find out. Who knows? Moving on to the next segment of this video, which is going to be my personal spring TBR. So I wasn't entirely sure what to read. I'm not necessarily like a seasonal mood reader. I just genuinely read what I feel like reading, but I have a few books that I will be reading, so I will give you a little list of what I'm reading. Some are physical and some are Kindle Unlimited, so I'll go and grab the physical ones now. I take it back because I actually don't know where one of the books are, so I do apologise. But I do have one of the books here, which is just for the summer. I do know probably 2 things from this book, which is that the female main character is a travel nurse, which is something I personally want to do, which is so cool. And obviously this isn't actually set in spring, it's literally in the title, it's in the summer, but I just thought it'd be fun to include because it is a seasonal book. But apparently Justin is meant to be like green flag in every way possible, so I'm very excited. I've heard great things about Abby Jimenez, I don't know how you say her name, sorry, but she's meant to be a really, really, really good author. I've not read any of her books so far, so it should be exciting. I'm actually really looking forward to this. The next book I have on my list is Emma by Jane Austen. I've heard this book has got like spring sort of vibes. I'm not going to lie to you, I've not heard anything about like what it's actually about. Obviously it's Jane Austen, so it's amazing, obviously she's popular for a reason, but I've not actually heard what the book is about. The next book I also have, which I have not heard much about, but I'm falling in love with the cover, is Picking Daisies on Sundays, I think it's called. Yeah, that sounds about right. This book, I'm obsessed with the cover. I'm obsessed. I love it so much. The next book I have is Best from the Movies by Lynn Painter. As always, this is a popular book talk book. I've heard lots about it and I love the cover. I love like the whole movie theme that it's got going on, and I love like one of the people doing like the Jack and Rose Titanic iconic picture, which I love. I just think that's so funny. But yeah, that is my personal spring TBR. It's only a few things I have on there just because I am a mood reader and I don't like to always say that I'm going to read all of these books because sometimes I don't necessarily always read them. But yeah, okay, the next segment of this video is actually the Kindle Unlimited section, which is my most exciting one because I am a Kindle Unlimited girly through and through. I love Kindle Unlimited. I don't know what I would do without it. I just want to note that these books are extremely popular books, and some of them you may read them and go, well, that was not set in spring. I've just looked at them and they sound springy, and that's not a word, but they sound springy. Work with me, okay? Work with me. It's quite difficult to do this. But first book we have on the list is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. So we meet Nora Stevens, who is the main character of this book, and she moves to the small town where her little sister lives. I take that back. She spends a vacation with her little sister. Sorry about that. There she meets her arch nemesis, Charlie Lastra, who is the year 2022's Bookstagram boyfriend of the year. Book boyfriend of the year, should I add. I love the sound of this book because it is also set in a small town, which I do love a small town romance. The next book we have on the list is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I did actually read this book, but I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really remember what happened in it because it was ages ago. But to summarise it, I've wrote it down. We meet Olive and Ethan, who absolutely despise each other. They are forced to go and work together as Olive is the maid of honour for her sister's wedding, who is marrying Ethan's best friend. It's a bit of a long one, but I do remember one thing about this book. I could be wrong, but I think there might be a one bed trope in it. I think that might be wrong, but it is actually in Enemies to Lovers. So I know my girls out there who love Enemies to Lovers, you will like this book. Then we have Get a Life by Talia Hibbert, I think that could be wrong. We meet Chloe Brown, who is a computer geek working from home, and she creates a Get a Life list that she really wants to complete. She moves into this new apartment and she hires the help of Red Morgan, who is this absolute dream man. He's tattooed, he has a motorbike, and he just sounds phenomenal. But she enlists him to help her complete her list, which I love the idea of this, by the way. I feel like I've not heard about this trope before, or not trope, but this idea of a book. It sounds really interesting. I'm actually really keen to read this. The next book is The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. This is a friends to lovers, sports and closed door romance that is perfect for the spring. We meet Bree and Nathan, who were friends in high school, but they drifted apart, but they are back as friends now. Bree is a former ballerina and a owner of a ballet studio, whereas Nathan is on the football team as a professional quarterback. I don't know anything about American sports, but whatever that means sounds professional. But basically, one day, Brie finally confesses drunkenly that she likes him, and they then have to disclose this deal of fake dating. So yeah, this is a fake dating book, which I did actually buy this book, and then for some reason I got rid of it. I don't know why. Didn't even read it. But I do want to read this, definitely. The next book is Falling Hard for the Royal Guard by Megan Clawson. This book is actually really interesting to me because the author of this book is actually on TikTok, and I remember a few years ago possibly, or a few months ago, I don't know, ages ago, she was saying that she was writing this book, and her whole TikTok is themed around the idea that she lives in the Tower of London, in the residences there. And I think that is so cool, by the way. I remember seeing that she was writing a book, so the fact that she's actually done really well just says something about her writing. So this book is about Maggie, who is 26, and she lives in the Tower of London. But she sort of dreams of having a fairy tale life. But instead, because this is the 21st century, then that does not happen because men are men. Men are not the same as they used to be. Men are not knights on white horses. They are disgusting. Some of them. Some of them are amazing. But she literally swears off men for good because of a bad situation that happened to her. The Royal Guard, Freddie, he comes along. This sounds so good, by the way. He literally, it says at the end of my little text bit, but how do you catch the attention of someone who's trained to ignore all distractions? Which, by the way, I love the idea of this concept, by the way. I just think that's really a fun concept. Don't know why. We'll be reading this for sure, definitely. Last but not least, we have To Love and to Loathe by Martha Waters. This is a book about Diana and Jeremy, who I'm not entirely sure if they're friends or something, but somehow they make a deal that if Jeremy marries within a year, she will owe him a certain amount of money. Sorry about that. We just got rudely interrupted. Back where we were, my camera just died. But Jeremy is not great in the bedroom, apparently. And basically, Diana sort of has got to teach him, which I don't know if I like the whole idea of this. Something about it just feels a little bit weird, but I don't know. It sounds okay, I guess, but probably not top 10 sort of thing. But yeah, that actually concludes my spring recommendations. I hope you've enjoyed this. This has actually caused me a stress. I'm not gonna lie, this has actually been really quite difficult because I want to give you information about each book, and it's actually quite difficult to do that if I haven't read the book. I like the sound of a few of these books, and I definitely will be adding them to my TBR. But yeah, with that is the end of the video. Let me know if you've enjoyed the video because this has been super fun, and let me know if you will be reading any of these books and what you'll be reading, because I would love to know. Also, if you have any ideas for any more recommendation videos you want me to film, then let me know. I would love to hear from you. But with that is the end of the video. So thank you all so much for watching, and have a lovely rest of your day wherever you are. Bye. Saw your silhouette